Hello, everyone, and welcome to Online Presenters, a virtual Toastmasters Club. I'm Sunny Fridge, aka Dr. Sunny. It's a pleasure to be here. We have guests from all around the world, members and guests, and new guests. We'd love to have you join. If you'd like to do that, you must be a current or former active member of Toastmasters International, completed at least 6 Toastmasters official speeches, or you can demonstrate your abilities in a 2 to 3 minute speech delivered during one of our club meetings. All requests for membership are subject to approval. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and change your role. All you have to do is hover over your video and see the 3 dots and change your name. We have members and guests from many countries throughout the world, and as a professional organization, we ask that you please be aware of language or use of words that may be offensive to others. Please note that we are recording this meeting. Your video and audio contribution may be used for club marketing purposes. And now, please help me welcome to the virtual stage our club president for just a couple of more hours, Marianne Grady. Welcome, Marianne.
Well, thank you, everybody. So happy to see everyone tonight. Tonight we have a very special meeting. We are inducting our new officers for the new Toastmaster year that begins tomorrow. Toastmasters year runs from July 1st to June 30th. So this, sadly, is my last day as president. I've really enjoyed my time here, and as we close out this incredible Toastmaster year, I look back with pride at how far we've come, not just with speeches and roles filled, but with confidence gained, friendships formed, and goals surpassed. Right, Joni? To my fellow officers, I want to thank you for showing up, for speaking up, and putting up with all of my health issues this year. I'm very sorry about that, but you've been amazing for me. To every club member, you made this year meaningful with your courage, your progress, your laughter. You challenged me, supported me, and reminded me why online presenters community is so important. Thank you to all of you. Now here's to the journey behind us and to the bigger one ahead. Now, tonight we are having our officer induction, and we are so blessed to have Luisa Montalvo, the world champion of public speaking, here with us to conduct it. Now, why is that important? Why is it important that we have a transition of power? In Toastmaster, it's important, it's not just a formality, it's the cornerstone of the club's continued success and growth. And it allows for continuity, retention of knowledge, and all of us to gain more leadership experience. So please, 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 if you're ever considering it, take a role in the future because you grow so much when you do. Now, I am going to introduce the person who will be inviting our new members into the, let's see, what do we call it? The circle here. And so Luisa Montalvo, world champion of public speaking, please open your mic and please begin the new officer induction. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Marianne, for the introduction. And I've been given a script, so I will read from that script right now. And my apologies for butchering first names, last names, anything that doesn't sound right. So my script starts with club officer election script. Will the outgoing officers please stand? I'm not sure really if you need to stand. I'm sure if you remain.
We'll just sit tall.
There you go. Excellent. On behalf of Toastmasters International, I thank all of you for your accomplishments and salute you for your service. You are discharged from all further duties and responsibilities as officers of Online Presenters Toastmasters Club. New officers, when I call each one of you, please stand or be acknowledged. For the Sergeant at Arms, we have Dr. Sunny Fridge. For Treasurer, we have Sada Idehen. For Secretary, we have Dr. Andrew Byrne. For Vice President of Public Relations, we have Karthika Devi Venkataram. For VP of Membership, we have Allison Blakeman. For Vice President of Education, we have Graham Carnes. And for President, it's Joni Renee Laidlaw. I'm here to install the officers of Online Presenters Toastmasters Club and to prepare them for the challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenge is to make this club strong and dedicated to helping people from all walks of life to listen with sensitivity, think creatively, and speak in an effective manner. As I briefly describe the responsibilities of each officer, I will ask him or her to hold the gavel as a symbol of leadership. On top of the specific duties of the officers, additional expectations that the club puts on all the officers are to attempt to attend all regular meetings, club events, leadership training sessions, and to represent the club at each conference. Please hold up your gavel to the Sergeant at Arms. Dr. Sunny Fridge. The duties of the Sergeant at Arms are to greet and inform guests of meeting guidelines and call the meeting to order at the scheduled time. I give you this gavel as a symbol of this change. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
You are now supposed to pass the gavel to the treasurer. Sada Idehan. The duties of the treasurer are to collect dues from the members, send the dues and the membership renewal reports to Toastmasters International, and pay the club's expenses. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Sarah's not here.
But she will.
But she accepts. There you go.
I believe she's muted.
She's not here, but I know she accepts.
Yes, muted, but I believe you're saying yes.
Yes, Sarah is not here, but we know that she has accepted.
Excellent. Thank you so much for letting me know that. Secretary, Dr. Andrew Byrne. The duties of the secretary are to keep an accurate record of the members, submit the officer list to Toastmasters International after the election, and to keep the club charter, the constitution, the bylaws, and the minutes. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Excellent. Please pass the gavel to the President, Vice President of Public Relations. Thank you. Karthika Devi Venkataram. The duties of the Vice President of Public Relations are to promote the club to social media, to spread the word about membership programs, and to attend Toastmaster events. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Excellent. Thank you. Please pass the gavel to the Vice President of Membership. Allison Blakeman. As the Vice President of Membership, your duties are to conduct ongoing membership building programs, explain the educational program to prospective members, and to encourage them to join and follow up on new members and absent members. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Excellent. Thank you. Please pass the gavel to the Vice President of Education. Graham Carnes. The duty of the Vice President of Education is to plan successful meetings to help members achieve their educational goals, orient new members to the Toastmasters program as soon as they join, monitor the members' progress, plan speech contest, manage mentor program, and maintain the club's plan with a steady track to achieve distinguished levels. Also, as second ranking officer of the club, you are expected to attend executive board meetings. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I certainly will.
Excellent. Thank you. Please pass the gavel to the president. Joni Renee Laidlaw. Having been elected the president of Online Presenters, you are its chief executive officer and will be expected to preside at all club meetings and at all regular and special meetings of the executive committee. It is your challenge to see that this club enables its members to achieve their educational goals. It is also your challenge to see that your club helps Toastmasters International to meet their goals. You are also expected to attend the executive board meeting. Please accept the gavel as a symbol of your leadership and dedication to office. Will you? Oh, that comes later. The gavel is a symbol of the power and authority given to you by the membership of this club. Use it wisely and with restraint. You are a member of your team and you are a leader. A team is more than a collection of people. Is it an emotional force rooted in the feelings, thoughts, and actions of all members with the common goal of achievement, sharing, and mutual support? Work with your team members to create a healthy, dynamic club, a club of which everyone will be proud. Will you, as president, accept this challenge and perform the duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Excellent. It is now my pleasure to declare these Toastmasters installed into the offices to which they have been elected. Will everyone please rise? The growth and development of the Toastmasters program in online presenters depends largely on the actions of this group. On your honor as men and women of Toastmasters, will you pledge to individually and collectively stand by this club, live with it, and work with it throughout the coming year?
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
They will.
Definitely.
The officers will now be presented with their pins for their office, and I personally wish to thank online presenters and wish them a very successful year, starting with this 6-month term. I now can turn control over to your new president, Joni Renee Laidlaw.
Wow.
Thank you so much for that excellent installation. I like the fact that you utilized the script. So we did it the proper way here at Online Presenters. We just have to update a little bit for the digital space. But thank you, David, for actually standing. As the incoming president, I do have an address. My gavel. It's a pencil. They always say it's easy to look sharp when you haven't done any work. Erasers are for the mistake that you want to correct. But I chose this not so much because it is a gavel representer, literally. It's a Toastmasters gavel pencil. I chose this because it's an example of something that, well, I don't particularly use. As you can see, it's not even sharpened. I was never a pen and paper kind of person. In the same way, every single time I do my leadership role, I keep my fingers crossed that bureaucracy goes down and does not move up by even an inch, because if it does, I start to get worried. I'm somebody who has spent most of my time living in nature. And what do you learn when you sit and you spend time with the birds and you look at the trees and you see how the flowers grow? Actually, you learn quite a lot. You learn that we're all connected, that the dust from the Sahara in Africa blows across the ocean to affect the weather here. You learn that deforestation in Brazil actually affects our air quality. You learn that when there are forest fires in California or there are fires in Canada, that on a little island of Jamaica, our air quality also falls. Now I see everybody's face and what does that have to do with being the president of an online club? Don't worry, I'll get to that. I've never been the kind of person who believes in hierarchy or bureaucracy. When I came into Toastmasters, one of the things that astounded me was that the pyramid of hierarchy was the other way. The member was always at the top. When I actually did the Learn Your Leadership Style, I realized I was a coach. But with time, being at Toastmasters, I actually evolved. I'm actually a steward leader, and I know most people will wonder, what's that? We've heard of servant leaders, those who serve to do things. But if you pour from an empty cup, eventually you'll have nothing left. But when you are a steward leader, it means that you're there to support for the future. Everything that you do to make yourself better actually improves the club. Every path, every project, every speech that you give to make yourself a better speaker goes towards our DCP points. But it's not just about the DCP points, because we need evaluators, we need timers, we need people who show up at online presenters just to be the audience. Even if you have no role for the day or nothing to do. After all, how can you be a public speaker if technically there is no public? One of the important things that I plan to do for our club this year is to allow us to grow as individuals. There's a phrase that says, if a plant isn't growing in the pot or the location that it is, you don't say there's something wrong with that plant. You transition it to an area that it improves your growth. I see Andrew nodding, and he can tell you I am somebody who does not take no for an answer, but I disagree. I'm a possibility thinker, so there is no such thing as no. And no is just a redirection, a next opportunity. Let's do something else and try it another way. Most of us have spent so much time putting in so much effort, doing so much work and not getting credit for it. Not because we're not actually putting in the work, but because we don't know the pen and paper. So everybody, we're going to sharpen our pencils, get to understand the bureaucracy, but in a fun way, in a way that improves all of us, in a way that as we progress and grow, and obviously some of the Jamaican would come out, when Sammy plant piece of corn down a gully, it's actually when he plants peas and corn, by the way. We'll all do what we do best, combined as a group in a way that makes us comfortable. And as the appointed tender of our gardens for this year, if there's pruning that's necessary or a transition from one place to another, I am one email, WhatsApp, call, breakout room away, because I know all of the effort that we put into Toastmasters as a labor of love. And because I know that when it comes to the circle of existence, curiosity, passion, and love will take us again to President's Distinguished 10 out of 10 points, but not burnt out, not unhappy, and ready to start again for the next Toastmasters year. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the day, Karen Grady.
Well, thank you, and let me be the first to call you Madam President. Wonderful job, wonderful way to open up your year. All right, now our next speaker of the day, and just for everybody's information, we will not be having an evaluation portion tonight. The evaluations will be silent, so we will not hear them. So that just makes things flow because we needed a little extra time. Our second speaker of the day is our Vice President of Education, Graham Cairns, and he will be talking from Mastering Fundamentals, and his speech is called Playing the System.
Marianne, members, guests, I'm a social media junkie and I spend a lot of time on the computer on social media, particularly, I have to say. I'm a boomer, so Facebook is my social media du jour. In the International Toastmasters members group, there has been a discussion recently led by somebody who was saying, I see that we now have to complete the Distinguished Club program online before September, or we won't be eligible to be distinguished as a club. Well, I'm just going to fill it in with rubbish because there's no point in doing that. I can understand that point of view, because quite frankly, sometimes it does seem a little like we are ticking boxes and flicking paper. But the thing about the Distinguished Club program, flawed as it might be, is that it is one of the best trailing indicators that a club can have to its success. This club will this year have roughly 50 meetings. And if we have an average of 3 speeches per meeting for 50 meetings, that's 150 speeches to be presented by members of the club. If our club has, say, 25 members, that's an average of 6 speeches per member per year. Now, what does 6 speeches mean? For a brand new member, or somebody starting a brand new path, that's level 1. But for most of us, because to be a member of this club, most of us have to be at least have completed 2 levels in a path. That means that we can complete 2 levels in a single year. Now, that's all well and good, but what does that mean? It means that we will, as individual members, grow and develop our communication skills. There are flaws with the Pathways education program. We all know this. We've all discussed this. Some of us have discussed it in much more minute detail than others. But if you play the system, that is, if you use what the education program is designed to do to improve your communication skills, to improve your leadership skills, to improve your Toastmaster skills, lesson by lesson by lesson, then you can't help but get better simply because you are doing this. If, on the other hand, you game the system, which many of us have done over the years, not recording speeches because we want to give the level to this club or to that club, or we don't want to use it in this year, we want to hold it till next year, then it doesn't do any of us any good. So what I will be doing as your Vice President of Education is encouraging you to join me in actually using the system, playing the system rather than gaming it. I'm intending to set up a small committee where we will look at ways to encourage members to actually make all of their presentations, help them become better speakers in the Pathways project. The net result of which will be, as Joni has said, another year of Presidents Distinguished, perhaps even Smedley Distinguished if we get 10 out of 10 and maintain a minimum of 25 members. Now, the titles aren't important. The ribbon's not important. We don't even have a banner to put our ribbons on. But what is important is that if we play the system, we will become better communicators. And I'm asking you to join me in doing that this year. Marianne.
Well, thank you, Graham. And I think you're getting everybody all fired up. We're going to have a lot of levels filled in quick. Our next speaker is our Vice President of Membership, Allison Blakeman. Now, though Allison's only been a member for 10 months, she's been knocking it out of the park. And I think she said earlier she's a member of 5 clubs and an officer in each of them. So this is a very busy person. So please welcome Allison, Mastering Fundamentals. And the title of her speech is Membership Goals for 2025 and 2026 Toastmaster year. Welcome, Allison.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day and Madam Past President. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, I'm so glad you're here. First of all, I would like to thank you for your vote voting for me for being Vice President of Membership. Andrei Smolenko, my Ukrainian friend who is living in Manchester, United Kingdom. I want to thank you personally. You have been such a mentor to me. I believe you were the one that reached out to me when I inquired online about online presenters and attended my first meeting. You have stuck with me, encouraged me, and even picked on me during table topics, yes, my friend, by asking me to propose to a candy bar. I will never forget that, and I lovingly joke you about that because that absolutely challenged me to my wits' end. Andre, I hope that I can fill your shoes and do just as good of a job in this role as you did. I will be leaning on you to continue your legacy of excellence further. I want to thank you. Joni Laidlaw, Madam President, congratulations. And it was said earlier that Joni doesn't take no for an answer. Okay, I've got to second that because believe it or not, in every meeting that I've ever attended at Online Presenters, I've never signed up for a role. Joni has voluntold me what role. I get an email and says, you're the watcher, you're the speaker. And I'm like, but Joni, I don't have a speech. And so I write a speech. And I'm like, okay, Joni has pushed me and really encouraged me to grow. And I love her for that. She's always there for me and always encouraging me on and such. So I'm really excited. Some of the goals that I have for this year is just to continue our legacy of excellence. You all have, to be honest, when I first joined, I was intimidated by all of your credentials. Looking at all the doctors, Dr. Sunny, Dr. Andrew, knowing Marianne's background, Graham, seeing David Carnes being interviewed on financial documents and on LinkedIn and I was overwhelmed to be with part of such an amazing group of people, and you welcomed me in. And that's what I want to continue to do is I want to continue to work with everyone, our VP of PR, to grow our members. A while back, Graham did a panel and a survey to see what would be a good number of memberships. And I want to work with Graham and others to continue to grow that. Invite others to join and see the fun and the things that I've learned. Not a single meeting goes by that Dr. Andrew Byrne does not put something into the chat that I right click and save the image as, and then go back and look at it. I learn something new every single day. That's what the world needs. This club is a hidden secret, I believe, from the world. It's not just a club, it's a community. I stumbled in, but I feel it was a divine destiny to join you all. I've learned so much. I feel at home. I'm still a little intimidated by some of you because you're amazing, so friendly, so welcoming. I recently had a question. I reached out to David Carr. David brought in Andrew Byrne to help me answer the question. Andrew gave us amazing feedback on it. Toastmasters is a community of loving, caring people. It's not even though there's a competition, to be the world champion, a public speaker like Louisa is, but there's really no competition. No one's pulling each other down. No one's beating each other up. The evaluations are given with love. Dr. Andrew often gives evaluations, and he speaks a little bit to the speaker, but he teaches us all. He teaches us little things to look for and how to improve. And every meeting, every Monday night, we walk away, or excuse me, Monday morning or afternoon, depending where in the world you are. For some, it's already tomorrow, but we walk away a better person. I believe in this club. I'm so honored to be a part of it, and our membership matters. I will work and do my best to greet our visitors, to make contact with them, to follow up with them, and to also recruit new members to come in to find what I found. A community of loving, caring, supporting people. I wish I could meet you all in person and give you all a hug, because in 10 months, you've made such a difference in my life. And I want to share that with the world and bring in more and more visitors and grow our membership base. So I'll do everything in my power to grow our membership and to help us to continue to be a very distinguished club. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Well, thank you, Allie. And wow, what a homage to the club. We're so happy that you're so happy. Now we have one final speaker of the day, and that would be our own Jim Barber, who is a longtime Toastmaster, a two-time TEDx speaker, and he is going to be doing a presentation, level 5, from demonstrating expertise from presentation mastery. And it's moderate a panel discussion. And the title is Lessons Learned from Pathways in 2024 and 2025. So let's see, panel discussion focused on pathways lessons learned from members who completed various pathways for the 2024-2025 year. So please, everybody, welcome Jim Barber.
I hate to sound like an old Verizon commercial, but can everybody hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
I was going through AV hell earlier, but I finally I have no idea what was wrong. It was like the proverbial thing of I didn't change anything and it was working, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, nothing. So anyway, got back, but I'm a little bit disorganized. I just wanted you to know why. I'm more disorganized, I would say, than usual, and I want you to know why. But what we're going to do is congratulate a series of people on their accomplishments this year on achieving different levels in pathways. And I want to talk to each one of the people very briefly about their experience. We're going to start with Christine Staple Ebanks. Christine, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful, Jim.
Well, we know you are wonderful. You completed level 1 in the, let's see, I've lost track of it here. Tell me, which path?
It's a mastery pathway.
Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. Level 1. I've got a couple of questions for you very briefly.
Sure.
First of all, it was your level 1. What was your pathways journey like? How was it like to get started?
So getting started was kind of a little bit different because as a speaker, I'm accustomed to speaking without script, without that kind of guidance, without that deeper understanding of all of the nuances of speech. And so it was a little difficult at first, but I got into the education part of it and I loved it because it made a lot of things clearer to me. It kind of helped me to see what were some of the things that that was missing in my speaking. It gave it a face. And our VP of education was excellent. I got so many tutorials from her. So not only did I go through the material, but in terms of getting support from Joni and understanding how to apply some of what I was reading was very helpful in moving me along the path. But I did find the overall course very stimulating, very engaging, and actually very exciting.
Thank you, Christine. Appreciate that. One other question. You embraced your pathways experience. Other people may find themselves struggling. They're having a hard time going through pathways. What would you tell them?
Mentorship is an important aspect of that because you need that kind of motivation, someone else who can give you a second ear, a second eye, who can help you as you are learning to find your feet and learning to work out your voice as well. So having someone there, which I think the Toastmaster, especially this club's model offer, is an important factor. Do not try to go it alone. Make sure that you have somebody else you can call on. And I also found the evaluations component extremely helpful. I loved how the evaluations were given because it helped me to understand. It kind of reaffirmed for me the things that I was doing well, and then it helped me to understand how I can improve. And so the way it was given over, it was quite easy for me to apply that back as I move forward in my other project.
Great. Thank you, Christine. And again, congratulations on your level 1 completion. We're looking
Thank you.
forward to seeing what you're going to do this coming year.
Thank
Keep
you.
it up.
Thank you.
Who's our next? Kirthika. Kirthika, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this nearly as well as everybody else has been doing, but I'm gonna mangle it anyway. Kirthika Devi Venkataram. Did I get close? You completed level 1 in which path, Kirthika?
Strategic relationship.
Great. Okay. What did you think? Your level 1 completion, was it a good experience?
It's obviously a great experience. Being completed a dynamic leadership recently, I jumped into strategic relationship, mending myself not only to be dynamic, but also to learn the strategies, the tactics to handle people in a difficult situation. It's not only the high performing team that wins, it's the slow and steady phase when you have to project yourself outside and when you have to hide. That matters. This obviously comes into picture when you have a specific mental model, a pyramid of structure that you can learn. And that obviously comes only through practice, not through any description, because descriptions are not prescriptions. Any description can give you or suggest you something. Prescriptions create a blockhead. Obviously, you should have your own intuition and common sense to present yourself at the right time before right people. I learned this from this level 1 of strategic relationship. This was a great learning too.
Fabulous. So I gather you would recommend this to other people.
This pathways is a recommendable pathway, but what happens right now is with pathways V6 version 6, dynamic leadership and strategic relationship has been mended together to put as a single pathway as dynamic leadership alone. The
Okay.
legacy pathway strategic relationship stays like that, but the new pathway program doesn't promote it separately, but it sees it as a strategic leader having dynamism in them.
Great. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Christine. Again, people, I think probably level 1 might be the level that people struggle the most with because you're going from nothing to completing level 1. So what advice would you give to people who are struggling, especially with level 1?
A great question. I see DTMs who fumble in their first icebreaker for their third pathway. This obviously comes into picture when you are not comfortable speaking in public. The rigorous practice of pronunciation, the language skill, the effective way of using the words at appropriate place makes you an effective communicator. For this, one advice is not only just practice. You have to have your script right in front of you as a memory. You must practice idiotic memory. The imagination skill helps you to bring this idiotic memory before you. Whatever you see right in front of you, it must be blank. Your script without the digital script, like a teleporter, absence of the teleporter, your mind should read it along with it. And that is how it helped me when I was doing my college.
Great. All right. Thank you, Karthika. And again, congratulations. Level 1 completion. That is fabulous. I am so looking forward to seeing what you're going to do in the future. Please do it.
Thank you.
Next
Jim.
one. Asil Boysen. You've completed level 1. In which path did you do this?
Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, thank you, Jim, for this question. I'm doing engaging humor path, and I
knew that,
completed
but
level 1 and 2.
I wanted to hear you say that. I've got to say that this has been such a treat for me because you have exposed your humor skills that I did not know existed. And you have done such a nice thing with your humor path. And you've completed level 2 on the being humorous presentation path. So tell us, this is a different path for many people, the humor path. What has it been like?
Well, honestly, I'm not someone who is naturally humorous. In conversations, I can't slip up a joke like some people do, like our own Jim or our guest Louisa. So taking this path was a challenge for me. I actually had to read up on how to make speeches funny. That's how serious I was about it. And I discovered that you can find humor in everywhere. For example, if you remember my speech about called Bearded Chronicles, when I shared my experience with AI, asking the AI to create images, and it went wild. So it basically wrote humor for me. So I shared that with you. So don't be afraid to do this path. It's engaging, and you don't have to make people laugh out loud. If you just inject humor, like subtle, and if they smile, so you achieved your goal.
Excellent.
Back to you.
I am a big fan of humorous presentations, but I have found myself that being funny, being humorous online is especially challenging because you don't have as much audience feedback as you do in an in-person presentation. Have you found that? And if so, how did you handle it?
Audience, they react. I can tell by looking at the screen, and it encourages me. And also, I do have feedback when they share on our chat. It encourages me to do more. And after I complete the some projects, I feel motivated. I feel inspired, and it makes my world different, it better. So I'm so happy that I started doing this project and having fun experimenting. Even small humor or playful example, funny face can make your speech more engaging. So that's what I've been doing when I do this project.
Well, you may be glad that you tackle the humorous speaking path. I can assure you that we are very glad that you did it as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you're going to do in future levels of this particular path. Well done. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Who's our next person? Graham Cairns, one of our beginning speakers. Graham is a little shy, a little bit withdrawn, but you know, we're going to work him out of his shell. Graham, you've completed level, it just changed to level 1 and level 2. Did you do 2 different levels? You did.
Yes. Yes, I've completed a number of levels this year. I'm currently working on 3 separate paths. I'm on level 1 in one, I'm on level 2 in another, and level 4 in the third path. But let's choose a path, the path that I'm doing for this club specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing effective coaching, which is one of the paths which has been abandoned by Toastmasters, unfortunately. There have been 6 paths that continue, 5 that have been withdrawn. This is one of the ones that's been withdrawn, but you can still do it if you had signed up in time. So I'm doing effective coaching for this club specifically. So on that one, I have completed in fact, I've just completed level 3, but have not submitted it yet. I'll be submitting it tomorrow, only because I'm gaming the system. No, seriously, because I just haven't got around to doing it. So the thing about doing the more difficult levels is that you are more constrained in what you can do. There are some required projects which are quite significant projects, but then there are all of the electives, and there is so much choice in those electives. One of the things that newer members don't realize is that there are so many options that you can do in levels 3, 4, and 5 of any path. Level 3, for example, of the effective coaching, which I'm doing, has got everything from creating an effective podcast to using vocal variety or body language, to using support material, visual support material, which is not death by PowerPoint. There's something that you can learn all the way through with those.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm pondering the question. I want to ask about the effective coaching path, but I'm aware that it's not available. But assuming that it were, or maybe that Toastmasters will change their mind and bring it back. This is different from so many of the other paths. Do you recommend it?
Yes, I do. In fact, I recommend 10 of the 11 paths that were available. There is one path that has just been completely useless to me, but it doesn't matter. The 6 paths that do continue, there are effectively 2 paths which are all about communication skills, presentation mastery and engaging humor. They're all about speaking. There are 2 paths which are all about leadership, and then there are 2 paths which are, if you like, a combination of leadership and communication, and all 6 paths are really valuable. The thing is that almost all of the electives are available in almost all of the paths, but each of the paths also have a core required project, and you learn something valuable from each of those required projects as well as the electives.
And a couple of quick questions. One, I said before that level 1 was probably the one that intimidated people the most, just a matter of getting through it. But after people get done with 1 and 2, then, as you say, they get into the higher level paths, which are challenging in maybe in a different way. What advice would you give to people that maybe start to slow down around that point?
Be aware that some of these projects take longer to deliver. There is the 18 to 22 minute prepare to speak professionally, for example, the keynote length speech. That requires you to have a club meeting where you can take up 2 or 3 speaking slots because you're going to be speaking for a time. But there are other projects which take some time to prepare before you deliver them. The one that I did today, for example, from level 3, which is today's was a short speech on what I intend to do. Then I have to complete the project, and then I have to come back and report on how the project went. So be prepared for, in levels 3 and 4 in particular, be prepared for a longer lead time before you actually get to deliver the project, because the project itself takes up time, which is great because we're learning something as we're completing those projects.
Excellent. Thank you, Graham. And before you go, I'm having many people who are banging on the chat wanting to know, in your opinion, which one you referred to a useless path, which of the 11 paths, in your opinion, was useless?
I'm glad you asked because I can't remember. I genuinely found the path so useless to me that
It
I
was that
cannot
good.
remember what it was. And of course, it's no longer available, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But when people were curious, I felt I had to ask. Thank you, Graham. Allison Blakeman, Allie, so looking forward. You have completed level 4.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Which level?
Level 4.
Excuse me, which path?
Well, actually, Jim, in 2 different paths, to be honest
Wow.
with you. This one was for dynamic leadership, but I'm also on level 4. I'm actually completed the entire path of dynamic leadership now.
Wow. Wow. Well, tell us about it.
The completing the path was a little bit of a challenge, and it was fun though. Like the other speakers have said, the beginning paths are challenging, and I look at the paths as growth. I look back to my very first speech that I ever gave. It was rough. It was very rough. And one thing that I love about the pathways is you constantly grow. This completing the level 4 to me really challenged me because I conducted an all-day meeting seminar where I walked around with a microphone, and that pushed me because when I went to the meeting, I thought it was going to be around a large executive table. And when I walked in, it was set up as a big horseshoe. And the people preparing handed me a microphone and said, "Here you go." And I'm like, "A microphone? Oh God, I have never used a microphone in my life." I spent 8 hours walking around talking in a microphone. It took me about 30 seconds to get comfortable. And this path challenged me in so many ways. And I look back and I'm not the same person I was 10 months ago.
Wonderful. I think that's one of the greatest testaments of Toastmasters and of the different paths that you can say that you are not the person that you were before. That is grand. You have gone through, as you say, you've completed one path, you've gone through level 4 and another path, and all of this in less than a year's time. What advice would you give to people that maybe are not feeling as motivated as you are?
Get started. Give a speech. Give a speech. I'm working with, actually, I'm mentoring 2 brand new Toastmasters at this time. I meet with one at 6 p.m. on Mondays and one at 8 p.m. on Fridays. And I encourage them just to do it. Start. You've got to start. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. And everybody starts out horrible, Jim. Every professional sports athlete, every professional speaker, they stunk their very first time. Every podcaster wishes they could go back and erase their first few podcasts, because you've got to get started to be great, and then you've got to practice. And the one thing I love about Toastmasters and this club in particular, because so many people's different perspectives in life, that when I've given speeches in this club, I get positive feedback and I learn. And then just even not only that, but hearing the other speakers, when a variety of people are providing feedback, I'm learning little tips here and there, and like, oh wow, I need to do that in my speech. Oh, I'm guilty of doing that. That's a great tip. That'll make the speech better. And you just constantly learn as you go. And it's just Toastmasters, nobody beats you down with evaluations. Nobody's going to say, "You stunk, you're horrible, you don't need to be speaking." Everybody's going to say, "Okay, you've got some work to do." I coached a person and they ran way long on their speech, and I said, "Okay, take all this out. And what message do you want your audience to walk away with? That should be 3 to 4 minutes of your speech." And they're like, "Okay, I'm gonna go back and work on that." So that's some of my advice, Jim.
Well done. Thank you, Allie.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I think I know the answer to my last question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Go for
Are
it.
you going to slow down now?
No, No. And what's funny is when I first joined Toastmasters, and this club in particular, Teresa, whom as VP of membership, I'm going to be harassing her, not harassing her, but on her and say, where are you? Why haven't you? I haven't seen you in online presenters for quite some time. She told me I thought it was amazing that she said she had joined 8 clubs and she spoke all the time. That's the thing. It was never my intention, Jim. It was never my intention, but Joni, loved Joni to pieces. Joni would say, hey, Allie, I signed you up for speaker number 1 tonight or next Monday night. Okay, Joni, I'll be there. I'll do it. And if I tried to weasel out of it and get out of it, Joni would say, nope, I need you. And you're going to do it. You can do it. And it's just, I found gaps and clubs needed speakers. I just jumped in and wrote a speech. And then that's kind of funny because I've always believed, I love motivation. I love helping people and encouraging others. And it's motivational and helping others. Motivation is a wide, vast spectrum of what it can be. And what the Pathways has done for me is it started to narrow down what's my niche. Some people say niche. What was my niche? And I found my niche. I found what it was by going through the Toastmasters. So no, I don't plan on slowing down. I was just elected as division director, and then I'm president in 2 clubs, VP of membership, and VP of PR and others. So I don't plan on slowing down. And the thing is, I can't be a DTM because I cannot be a club coach or a club mentor until I've been a Toastmaster for a year. And Jim, and I'm already working on my DTM project. The only thing stopping me from being a DTM is I cannot be a club coach or mentor until I've been a Toastmaster for a year. And I'm like, seriously? So the earliest I can reach a DTM would be July of next year.
Well, we will all look forward to your doing that, and you will probably be the first person to get 3 DTMs all on the same day. But
and I don't do that out of just like Graham talked about earlier. I don't do it just like checking off a box.
Right.
It's fun. It is fun and helping others. That's why I launched a club called Authentic Voices, because I seen the value of Toastmasters, and there's so many people that are intimidated to join a club with all professionals like everyone here. And I wanted a Toastmasters club with training wheels. So someone that's shy and doesn't want to get on cam, hey, come to our club. That's who we are. We're going to take it slow, and we're not going to push you, but we're going to show you that you're going to have fun while you learn.
Excellent. Wow. Well, thanks to Joni for encouraging you, but thanks to you for actually doing the work. Thank you, Allie.
I have a blast. Toastmasters is my hobby, and it's more than a hobby. It's my passion.
I was going to say a hobby. I don't think begins to describe it. Passion, I think, is definitely the right word. Thank you, Allie. We appreciate your passion.
And Jim, thank you for always making me laugh every day.
I try what I can. I do what I can.
Right.
Thank you, Allie. David Carr. Oh, my goodness. David Carr, congratulations on path completion, but it doesn't say what path or what level. Which one?
I have no real idea, actually. I'm actually going to be a VP of education in the coming year for my home club, and I am guilty of only paying occasional attention to pathways. There is the alternative definition which means DTM means don't time me. The rules do not apply to me. And that is sort of how I behave, and I know it's bad, it's awful, but
I've gotten a word from on high that it is the visionary communication path.
Oh, okay.
And you forgot because you were the first person to complete a level that was almost a year ago. And so it's understandable that you wouldn't remember that. So congratulations on completing your A level on the visionary communication level.
Okay. Why don't we leave it at that?
Yeah, sounds good. What would you tell people? Did you enjoy that path?
I paid no particular attention to that path, Jim.
Okay.
The honest truth is
Right.
that I went back through and added up some speeches and decided that they could be assigned to this path and cashed in my chips and checked the boxes.
It was a vehicle for self-improvement, but
Yeah,
any path
I
would do.
enjoy giving the speeches along the way. What
Mhm.
what I enjoy is not the bureaucratic process. It is the actual feedback I get from my evaluator and my
Mhm.
friends in the club. That is why I am here.
How many paths have you been working on, or are you working on?
I think I have three open paths
Hmm.
uh, that
Do
I
you have
am
a favorite among them,
definitely.
or are they pretty much interchangeable?
They're pretty much interchangeable.
That's fair.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
You
I,
mentioned your.
Yeah, okay. The honest truth is, I speak about what I want to speak about, what I'm interested in at that moment, and I try and cram that into some particular project when I remember to do that.
That's fair.
Other times I put it on the agenda as no particular path. I'll figure this out later, and then I forget about it.
That's fair. I'm going completely off script here, but you mentioned before that you were the vice president of education, I think, of your other club, of your home club. Do a quick commercial for them. When do they meet?
So this is Club Awesome Toastmasters. They're the ones who got me started in Toastmasters. It is a wonderful club that meets Friday mornings at 7 a.m.
Mhm.
7 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Andre actually, I believe, stopped by for one of our workshops the other day. So I guess he was taking a midday break. Um, I think in the middle of the night for Graham, but so I won't be pressing you to show up anytime soon. But you know, it's a wonderful club. It has been President's Distinguished year after year, except for this year, when we are struggling with membership. So
And they meet in Coral
we've
Springs, Florida, right?
that is Coral Springs, Florida, and online. So
But they're also a
it
hybrid
is a
club,
hybrid
so that
club, and I just got a call today from somebody else who's doing hybrid and wants some help. So
very good.
if I can come visit your hybrid club, if your hybrid club needs help, or any other club needs help, I'm open to be invited as a guest speaker. And I won't tell people how much I don't pay attention to pathways. I'll try and be good.
Okay, we'll keep that a secret. We won't tell anybody. All right. Thank you, David. Who's our next person? Joni Laidlaw. I think I've heard of her. Okay. Joni Laidlaw. There she is. Now president. President of Online Presenters DTM, Joni Laidlaw. On path completion, but again, there's nothing on the slide there that says which path or what level. What have you been up to?
Okay, so I will state that yes, it is dynamic leadership. No, it was not dynamic leadership slander in the chat from me. I really did not want to do this path. I did it because I have a thing where I have to complete it. If I started it, I did the 10 other paths. That was the last one I had to. So I did. And it was done. There you go.
Cool. Good. Thank you. Well, elaborate on that. What has your pathways experience been like?
Oh, I absolutely love pathways. I always say there's a path for everything. If you want to figure out a podcast, there is a podcast. I even did a speech here at Online Presenters before the transition about how to evolve the pathway system. Because, like David said, most people really don't care because you're being forced into something. I keep saying, I'm not about forcing people to do it to get the points. I'm about if you're going to do the work, you're going to get the credit. I'm not asking you, and I don't care if you want the credit or not. I will be inflicting the credit on you because I believe that most people, they do their speeches, they do their presentations. I can guarantee that if I count up the amount of club officer or district officer roles here, we have like multiple distinguished Toastmasters, but guess what? Because of how the paths are set up, somebody will come in, be excited, do an executive role, do a podcast, do things that align with Toastmasters that Toastmasters could help, like leading your volunteer organization when you're going to be a club officer. And then when you get to the end of the year, Graham had said it in his interview, where there are things that take 6 months, like mentorship or leading your volunteer organization. When you get to the end of it, you didn't do anything, you didn't look at the project, you didn't record the speech, and then you have to do it again next year. Yeah, I'm not about that life. And I refuse. It physically causes me pain when people do things and don't get the credit. So you're not doing it for you. You're doing it so you don't inflict that kind of stress on me. If you're going to work, get the credit. It really is that simple.
That sounds fair. All right. What about the people who don't want to do the work?
Well, that's the thing. Most people consider work or Toastmasters just one thing. I don't, because persons who do evaluations, they're actually assisting the persons who are giving the speech. Now, they might not be doing speeches for Pathways, but if you don't have an evaluator or you don't have a timer, or, well, Toastmaster of the day is a project, but if you don't have persons doing those roles, you won't actually have people feeling or the ability to do the path. Most people just look at what the designations is on Toastmasters and not actually the periphery and the other roles that persons actually have to contribute to a club that don't get Pathways credit, but are extremely important. So I don't look at it as people not doing the work. I look at it as persons doing what they're like, what they're comfortable with to support the club. But in some cases, not understanding pathways, the pathways process, how to get on. I know a lot of people are pencil. I grew up pencil. I didn't like it. But don't worry. I understand the pencil, so I can transition you to my heart, which is digital, very easily, because I did the pencil. So I understand pencil people. I understand paper, and you go to XYZ. It's why I'm good at trying to point people to going through and getting stuff done. But when we talk about work, it's not just about pathways, but I can promise you, I will volunteer you so that you complete at least one. Most of them are 3. We have how many meetings per year? You're going to do 1, because I'm annoying and I like being annoying.
And you're so good at it.
Exactly.
Thank you, Joni. And the purpose of this interview was to congratulate you on your path completion. But of course, I cannot let you go without also congratulating you on your new office as president of Online Presenters. That is a magnificent achievement for you, and it is a wonderful thing for online presenters, and we are looking forward to a wonderful year to come. Do we have any other people on the panel? I've lost my notes.
We do
Mhm.
not have anybody else on the panel, but we can add everybody, and you can feel free to add any questions that you'd like.
I'd be delighted to do that. I've asked the questions that I wanted to ask, but what does anybody else have that they would like to ask our panelists? Any of them? All of a sudden, everybody gets quiet.
Jim, you might want to ask our world champion who has visited multiple clubs. Has she had experiences like our virtual club experience before?
I think that's a darn good question. And excuse me, I'm having technical problems here.
Louisiana.
Louisa is now unmuted.
Did you, there you are. Okay. Louisa, did you hear the question that Andy asked?
I did not.
Okay. Andy, when you said it so well, would you repeat it?
Yes, you have had the opportunity of seeing many, many clubs, speaking at many clubs, and hearing how many clubs operate. What has been your reference point with that in mind of our club's operation as a virtual club, spanning more than 25 countries in our club?
I realize that a lot of people, myself included, merely want to be acknowledged for the work we've done in whatever way, shape, or form that is, we will take it. So, this is the first time that I have seen this kind of presentation where you say, hey, congratulations. And it's not a congratulations, here's your certificate. Next person, congratulations, here's your certificate. Next person. No, you're like, you know what? This is what you worked on. What did you like about it? I mean, the gentleman piqued my interest when he said, oh, there was that one annoying one path that I didn't even want to like and I didn't know I'm doing. I was like, oh, wait a minute, wait, what did he say? I want to know what that is, because I didn't want to take it, or at least I was going to find out what his reason was why he didn't think it was a good pathways. And just, I'm going to be very honest with you. And, when I say stuff like this that I say, I question whether I should say it, but then again, I tell myself, Louisa, you already have the trophy. So, with that in mind, I'm going to say that I'm not really a pathways person. What for some reason, I am blessed to have people in the club that will do almost anything and everything for me. I'll give a speech and then they'll say, you know what? You're on this path right now. That would go really well right here. And I'm like, do it. And then I'll give another speech and they go, oh, that one would fit right here. And I'm, yes, jot it down. And so last year, before I competed, I had to have 2 paths completed before you can try to even step on the world stage. So I had 2 or 3 people working on my past speeches saying, you know what? This can go here. This can go there. Okay. You know what? You got your 2 paths completed. Great. But just listening to all of you speak about it, now I'm thinking, you know what, Luisa? Get on the computer, find out what path you're on, find out which one you signed up for. And then somebody says something about podcast. So I'm really interested in that. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, now I'm going to go. And if it had not been for me listening in on your meeting, you know what? I could have said, hey, installation of officers, great, congrats, I gotta go. And I could have said that, but I thought, you know what? And I tried to listen to and appear and stay for as many meetings as I can, because there's not a single meeting that I haven't learned something during that meeting. So now you have instilled in me, and I'm going to try to make a transition to get my mind out of the legacy program that I so miss and love, and try to transition to the pathway program that they have now. And I guess it's easy when everybody complains about something and you can just jump on the bandwagon and complain about it also. But just everybody talking about this now, and you made it sound inviting and exciting for me. So kudos to you for doing that to a stubborn old woman that doesn't want to change. So I thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Louisa. And we've had this evening a wide range of opinions on pathways. We've had a wide range of people's accomplishments, but the one thing in all of them that tie them all together is, as Louisa said, we need to recognize when someone accomplishes something. And the 7 people tonight who have completed a level, 1 or more levels in pathways, all deserve an accomplishment. So I urge everyone to give them the applause that they so richly deserve. And this concludes our panel discussion for this evening. It is almost that time. I return control to our Toastmaster of the day, who I believe is immediate past President Marianne Grady.
That would be correct. Thank you, Jim.
Take it away.
I want to thank Louisa for coming in and making our officer installation so special. Wonderful job this evening. And I know that you get a lot of requests, so it was very special that you came to us again. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I want to thank all of you for the opportunity to be your Toastmaster today and to serve Online Presenters as your president. Now, with a full heart, immense pride, and maybe just a little bit of relief, I pass the torch to our new president, Joni Renee Laidlaw, to close out this meeting and visit with our guests. Madam President.
You're muted, Johnny.
We can't
Joni,
hear
you're
you.
muted.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Madam Immediate Past President and Toastmaster of the Day. It's 8 p.m. I didn't think that we'd be able to do it, but we're going to actually end the meeting on time. But I'm taking an executive decision to extend our discussion after. So I now call this meeting adjourned